In this video, I'll be covering question 3, part B from the 2012 AP Calculus AB free response, no calculator allowed portion of the exam. I cover parts A, B, C, and D all in their own individual videos, so if you want to see those other solutions, please check out my other videos. Okay, so first things first, on any AP Calc question that has a graph on it, you want to reinforce to yourself what that is the graph of. So we're looking at the graph of f. I underline it, I box it in, I highlight it, whatever you want to do to make sure your test brain remembers that that is the graph of f. Then from there, we're looking to find two values. They want to know what is g prime of negative 3 and what is g double prime of negative 3. And then they give us a g of x equation to work with over here. So we know on this that g of x is going to equal the integral from 1 to x of f of t dt. To find the derivative here, we would ddx both sides of this. We would take the derivative of both sides, and that would get us that g prime of x is going to equal. And what we have going on with this second half of this is the Fundamental Theorem of Calculus part 1. Whenever you're going from some number down below up to an equation, x squared, anything that's a variable up top here, this is bells and whistles got to be going off that this is the Fundamental Theorem of Calculus part 1. And what the Fundamental Theorem of Calculus Part 1 allows us to do is to remember that derivatives, ddx's, and integrals, which is that squiggly line there, they're inverses of each other. They cancel each other out. It's like squaring a square root. And when they cancel each other out, whatever is up inside there is just going to drop down into this function here. So what that tells us is that g prime of x is really equal to f of x, which is, as we reminded ourselves, the graph over here. So this is the graph of f, but this is also the graph of g prime of x. So we're looking at the derivative graph as well. That means that when we go to do g prime of negative 3 in this situation, we're really looking to find f of negative 3. So what we're doing here is we've been given our x value, and we just need to read the y value off the graph that goes with it. So we'd go 1, 2, there's negative 3 would be right here. So we're trying to find this value right there, which you could probably guess just from eyeballing it that that's going to end up being 2 on this one. But, you know, the AP Calc people, they might be a little tricky. And so how do I find out for sure that that's actually going to be a y value of 2? Well, we're going to use the fact that this is a straight line going from this left point to this right point. And if we can find the slope of that line, we can use that slope to then find out another point on the line. So slope is easiest found in these situations by doing rise over run. So from this first point, I would rise 1, 2 units. And then I'm going to run 1, 2 units as well. So my rise over run gets me 2 over 2, so my slope is 1 over 1 if I simplify it. Then I come back and use that information to find my second point. So I'm going to rise 1, so starting here in this left corner, I would rise 1 and I would run 1. And so that tells me that if I rise 1 off of this 1 here, I am actually going to get to that point, negative 3, 2. So the y value on this would be 2. Now what we need to do is we need to go find the second piece. We need to go find g double prime of negative 3. We know that g prime of x is equal to that graph that we're looking at. So to find the second derivative of that, I would take the derivative of this side, so g double prime of x is equal to f prime of x. So this is now asking us for, if we plug in our negative 3, g double prime of negative 3 is equal to f prime of negative 3. So when we're talking derivatives, we want the slope of equation f at x equals negative 3. Well, lucky for us, we already figured out that slope of that line already. The slope of that line was equal to 1. And so that's going to be our answer down here. So then we end up with g double prime of negative 3 is equal to 1. So this problem would have been 2 points. You'd have gotten 1 for getting the first part of this correct, and you would have gotten another point for getting the second part of this correct. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, please click that like button and subscribe. And also share it with your friends and anyone else you know who might be crying about an upcoming AP Calc test. You can find more videos from me, more sample AP Calc questions, and my complete AP Calc study guide over at my website, apcalcprep.com. Have a great one.